Well, tonight, a WJZ exclusive. You will remember the celebrated release of the Harlem Park Three just last year. Teenagers wrongfully convicted of murder back in 1983. Now, their release, a victory thanks to the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office and the Innocence Project.
For the first time tonight, we hear from all three now grown men who served a combined 108 years in prison. Now, by that standard, it is the longest wrongful incarceration case in American history.
And their lives began to unravel on Thanksgiving night in 1983 when their home was raided and they were charged with first-degree murder. Now declared innocent, they were tried on fabricated evidence and coerced testimony.
All the while, police allegedly hid evidence that clearly indicated detectives knew who the real killer likely was. They want you to know that there are more wrongfully convicted men like them, and their lives also wasting away. Look at their faces. Know their names. Alfred Chestnut, Andrew Stewart, Ransom Watkins. The innocence of youth fleeing right before them as they are herded into police vans and hauled off to prison.
We draw guns on, slam us to the concrete, don't move, don't do nothing, and then put you in the paddy wagon.
They were accused of the brutal killing of DeWitt Duckett, a friend who senselessly lost his life over a Georgetown sports jacket on November 18, 1983, right in the hallway of Harlem Park Middle School. It would be 36 years before they would ever breathe free air again. But for these three men, now in their 50s, freedom doesn't feel free. They're still reliving the tragic tale that robbed them of their most formative years.
We told them the truth from the beginning. We had nothing to worry about because we didn't do anything.
But innocence wasn't enough, and the growing case against them dominated the news.
Prosecutors in court told the judge they had 5 witnesses who saw Andrew Stewart try to remove the jacket from DeWitt Duckett that day. The judge gave him $75,000 bond. Those same witnesses saw Ransom Watkins hold the man about the neck. They gave him $100,000 bail. And those same witnesses saw Alfred Chestnut pull the trigger and kill DeWitt Duckett. The judge set his bail at $150,000.
Except none of that was true. A lawsuit against police claims that officers coerced young witnesses to lie and that the detectives fabricated a narrative that pinned the crime on the innocent teens.
He don't have no gun. He don't own no gun.
Eyewitness accounts were ignored, as was physical evidence pointing to a different suspect. The suit names Baltimore police officers Donald Kincaid, John Barrick, Bryn Joyce, and the Baltimore Police Department. The men describe how police repeatedly tried to get them to admit they did it, but they stuck together, knowing they were innocent.
You know, the officer that arrested us, you know, like he told me when I first got locked up, you know, he white, I'm black. They're gonna believe what he say, regardless of what I say or what we say. And we going to jail. So he basically, and he was telling the truth, because that's what happened.
So this officer or a group of officers said to you, I'm white, you're black, who are they going to believe?
Right. That's the first thing he said to me. Without any hesitation, like this was a normal thing that he must say to black kids, because it rolled right off his tongue.
The three best friends remained close, even behind bars, and Chestnut's relentless fight to prove their innocence finally paid off. Attorneys for these three men say this is not an isolated incident. In fact, this lawsuit names 12 different cases where the wrong defendants were arrested, charged, and convicted. In each case, there was overwhelming evidence proving their innocence that was withheld from prosecutors, from defense attorneys, and from judges. It is, they say, a pattern in practice within the Baltimore Police Department that dates back decades. And it was that practice, the lawsuit says, that robbed the Harlem Park Three of much more than their freedom.
The whole time I was in prison, father died, grandmother died, sister died, brother died. I lost everything, right? And the ones that I come home to, there's no connection. Much as I want that connection, I can't find that connection with them. The state done that. They done that to us.
If you could talk to the police officers, or you could talk to the judge, you could talk to the prosecutor, what would you say to them right now?
Why? Why us? Why anybody? Why would you do that to anybody? Especially kids.
WJZ reached out to the attorneys for 2 of the officers. We've not heard back, and Baltimore City Police say they do not comment on pending litigation. The suspect believed to have killed DeWitt Duckett was never arrested in this case and was shot to death in 2002.
I mean, it's such an incredible story. When you hear stories like this, you always think and try to imagine how difficult it is for them to go from prison to freedom.
It is extremely difficult. What these men want you to know is that being out is sometimes more difficult than being in prison. So we want you to join us tomorrow as we explore what their lives are like as they try to adjust to their newfound freedom.
It's a great story, Vic. Thank you.